This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, as you know, I always put a little disclaimer in front of here. Usually I do a different type of opening here, but due to how frail and the illness that I'm dealing with, I'm trying to keep myself off camera. But today we're not just talking about Underhive, but we're talking about Necromunda as a whole, because from this set, a lot of things have changed a bit. But with the recent addition of this combat zone, it's made me think a little bit. You know, which one here is actually, I think, a little better for some people. And if you were thinking to get into any kind of, you know, futuristic things like this, because I've really taken, when you start talking about gang warfare and stuff like that in the future, I really love Necromunda. I've always been a fan of it, and I have everything for it. But since this has come along, it's kind of, there's just some comparisons I wanted to make. So we're going to go down. I'm going to talk a little bit about things, and I've got the two rule books, even though the other rule book has changed quite a bit with all the symbols and stuff that they've changed and stuff like that. But I wanted to talk the similarities and yet the differences, and what might be good for some and might be good for others. So let's go down. Now, I really like both these games, so I don't want anybody to think that this is like, oh, hey, let's dump on Games Workshop, because I'm a fan of the box games from Games Workshop. They've done some fantastic things with Blood Bowl, adding more with Gutter Bowl, and so forth and so on, and Necromunda, Ash Wastes, and the Dark Uprising. And I just have so much of this stuff. I really enjoy it. But you know, when it seemed I'm working on the games at the same time, Necromunda and Cyberpunk Combat Zone, and I'm finding that I'm not so much I'm leaning a certain way, but there are enough differences that can make a kind of difference. Now, when you talk about their terrain, I mean, let's be honest. Games Workshop has done a fantastic job with building a theme and putting it on a table and having you experience this beautiful thing. I remember back in the 90s we had to make our own terrain out of coffee cans or whatever else we could find, and nowadays you come up with these just beautiful sets that you can play on, and all you got to do is just make sure that you can paint them and make them look good. As far as miniature is concerned, let's be honest. These are very good for Cyberpunk Combat Zone, and very acceptable. And I've started to paint a whole bunch. I should have brought them in here and showed you the painted ones, but you can see these are just excellent, good quality, and great. But you know, if we're going to be honest, there's a reason Games Workshop is the kings of miniatures. It's their unbelievable detail. But I have to tell you that, you know, if you're going to give a check mark, of course you're going to give it to Games Workshop. But I've got to tell you, it's very close in the fact that it's so close that once you get these painted up, I don't think it takes away from either side, and both do very well. The Necromunda is going over several overhauls and stuff like that, and can be very complicated. And this is where there's a very big difference for me, is that if you're not used to certain systems and things like that, I mean, you've got a lot to figure out, especially with all the weapons and things like that. With the advanced rules and things like that, and everything that just comes together. Does it work? It always works. Their dice are second, the non-injury dice I always got a kick out of, which add just a fun part to it, and it gives you more of that feel where if you are very personal with that particular gang or member or whatever that you have in Necromunda, you're praying that you don't get them all banged up or seriously hurt or lose them permanently. On the other side, what I really like that is going on here, and the more I am messing with this, the more I'm enjoying it, and just realizing, sometimes keep it simple, stupid, and that's this. Of course, you can't see it here too much, but it is the color-coded everything. How everything just is so much easier with the color codes. I know that Necromunda has moved the symbols, or no, it's a kill team that's done the simple things, but and there are a few other different changes that have happened and so forth and so on that you have to figure out. But this, I really like how we keep things simple here, and when the red, yellow, and the green, the limiter. And how far, and if you go outside that limiter, the different dice that are going to help you along this. It simplifies so much, especially when I've been playing by myself, that I can just, okay, yeah, all I need to do is this, all I need to do is that, and it spells out, and it just does a wonderful job. But I also found with Necromunda that I've also been enjoying a little bit of that complexity as well. And what these both have to offer are both different, unique experience. But I think what it really comes down to, if you are a battle-hardened Games Workshop guy, okay, are you going to like this? I think you really will, okay? And if you are a newbie to any of this stuff, are you going to like this? Well, there's a lot more complexity here. Not so much complexity, but there are a lot of rules that are really going to take up some time. After all, this is the lore here, of course, is fantastic. But you've got a good size rule book here, and the other rule books, they actually have a giant rule book which puts everything into it. And there have been a lot of changes along the way. As I said, which are fantastic with the supplements and all the other things. There are thousands of gangs here. If you are looking for a variety in gangs, you're going to want to go Necromunda. But if you are looking for something that you can get to the table on a Friday night very, very, very quickly with your friends and sit there and have a laugh riot, I think you are missing out if you do not get Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone, which will be available very, 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 very soon. And I'm telling you right now, I'm working on doing a couple of playthroughs of this. I just finished painting a few. I got a few more guys to paint before we come there. But we're also going to be covering a lot of Necromunda stuff that I think you're going to find. And I think these are just two games, and this has come up to almost this level. But I think it's separated by the fact of its ease into it and the beauty that it presents, and if you are into futuristic gang games, this is this one has a very special place in a lot of people's hearts, and for me, the original box set, which I still have, has a very special place in my heart. But you need to take a look. You need to take a look at this. So let's head up top, and I'll give you some final thoughts here, and then we'll get on out of here, and we'll get you on the next video. So what we have here is just two very unique games, and it's a great time to be a gamer when they can put out great games like this. So we've got Necromunda, and then this Cyberpunk. The great thing about this is, and also I want to bring up, is not only can you get more, you can order different types of terrain systems for Necromunda in different gangs. But you can do the same also for this Cyberpunk Red. Monster Fight Club, who does some fantastic terrain. I think that you're going to find that you're going to be able to really build whatever world that you want to build, and really have these wonderful experiences. This is something I'm telling you, you need to be on the lookout for. But also, don't shortchange probably one of the greatest games of all time. The Monster Fight Club game is an up-and-coming, fantastic game that I'm telling you, when people get their hands on it, they are going to be thrilled with, and I think you're really going to enjoy. So, until next time, folks, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.